Namaskar friends, welcome back to my channel Living Economics. Today we are going to discuss one very important topic of economics. This is the concept, this is the fundamental on which the entire economics is based on which the entire study of economics is based on, and the topic is exchange creates value. The fundamental is exchange creates value. We will see and understand how exchange creates value with the help of one of the theories of international trade proposed or propounded by Adam Smith, the father of economics, in his book Wealth of Nations, published in 1776. He has given us the idea of how the wealth of nation can be improved with the help of exchange, with the help of free trade. So he never wanted any trade restrictions or trade barrier, because he says that exchange creates value. That is what we are going to understand in our video about how exchange creates value with the help of one example and taking up his theory, which is absolute advantage theory. So let's go and learn. So let's start this discussion with one phrase which is also one of the fundamentals of law and economics as well, and that is resources gravitate towards their most valuable usage if set free. Here we are talking about again resources, if they are not intervened by any authorities, or these resources are not restricted by any boundaries, they will gravitate towards their most valuable usage. That means we are talking about exchange. If exchange is possible, if exchange is seamless, if exchange is not restricted by any authorities, any government or any boundaries, then exchange will create value, because resources exactly gravitate towards their most valuable usage. Valuable usage in the sense where the allocation of resources is optimal. Let's see with the help of one of the theories, like I said, given by Adam Smith in his book An Inquiry into the Nature and Causes of Wealth of Nation, published in 1776. In this book, he was inquiring about how the wealth of nation can be improved. And apart from many suggestions, he has also propounded and proposed that there should be free trade. The trade should be without any government intervention, because he has understood from his theories, from his observation, from his research, that exchange improves efficiency. So that is why he has proposed the government do not put any trade barrier between the two nations, because if the two nations are working as per whatever their resources can generate efficiently, then the entire world will be the beneficiary of this exchange, and there is a win-win situation. Now, this theory doesn't only apply to the nations. This theory is also applicable at each level, whether it is about two firms, whether it is about two individuals, or whether it is about two countries. Let's see with the help of one of the examples I'll be using here to let you explain that how surplus is generated when exchange is free from any boundaries, when exchange is free from any barriers. So here we go. Okay, let's see how exchange creates value with the help of absolute advantage theory given by Adam Smith, published in his book Wealth of Nations, 1776. Absolute advantage theory has few assumptions to be made. Let me tell you all those assumptions over here. First assumption is two nations. Second assumption is two goods. Third assumption is that labor is immobile, that is, there is no mobility of labor between the countries, but full mobility of labor or resources within the countries. And the last assumption is that technology is constant. Now let us see how much each nation can produce and consume in a closed economy, and let us see the magic of exchange, how much they can produce and consume when they open up or when they exchange the goods between the countries. So you can see that nation A either can produce 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 units of coins, or can produce 6 units of blocks. Means if this nation decides to produce only coins, it can produce 12 units of coins but no blocks. Or if it decides to divert all its resources in the production of blocks, then it can produce 6 units of blocks but no coins. In the same manner, nation B can produce 16 units of blocks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 multiplied by 2, 16 units of blocks, or 8 units of coins. Now if this nation decides to produce only blocks, it can produce 16 units of blocks but no coins, or if it decides to produce only coins, it can produce 8 units of coins but no blocks. Now what happens in a closed economy, that these nations and the people in these nations need both the goods. So they decided to produce both the goods within the country. And let's assume, for the sake of simplicity, that they decided to divert 50% of resources in the production of blocks and 50% of the resources in the production of coins. Now that means if nation A is diverting 50% of the resources in the production of blocks, it can only produce 3 units of blocks, and 50% of the resources in the production of coins, it can only produce 6 units of coins. Now this is the production of the country, nation A, when there is a closed economy and no exchange is happening, no trade is happening. This is also the consumption level. So this is the production level of nation A, this is the consumption level of nation A. 6 units of coins and 3 units of blocks. In the same manner, 50% of the resources diverted to produce blocks and 50% of the resources diverted to produce coins. So nation B also can produce 4 units of coins and 8 units of blocks. This is the total production when country is producing at efficient level. When both the countries are producing at efficient level and diverting their resources towards both the goods 50% each, then they can produce, country A can produce, please remember this figure, country A can produce 6 units of coins and 3 units of blocks, country B can produce 4 units of coins and 8 units of blocks. And this is their production, this is their consumption. Now as per Adam Smith, wealth of nation is nothing but higher level of consumption. Now let us calculate the world production. The world production of coins in this world is 6 plus 4, means 10 units of coin in total have been produced when economy is closed, exchange is not happening. On the other hand, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 units of blocks have been produced in total if country is closed, or in other words autarky, and not exchanging goods and services at all. Now let's see, one day Adam Smith goes to these nations and talk to their prime minister, president or queen or king, and tells him the magic of exchange and tells him that they should be opening up and exchanging goods and services with each other. Now here we are only talking about 2 goods. He suggested that if you are good at producing coins better than blocks, produce coins only, or if you are good at producing blocks better than coins, you can produce blocks only. Now when he said absolute advantage, he said from the production level you can see which country has absolute advantage in producing which type of good. Now I will ask you, you can easily see that if I add all the goods over here again, you can easily see that country A, nation A can produce more of coins compared to blocks, whereas nation B can produce more of blocks compared to coins. So clearly the absolute advantage with nation A is to produce coins and absolute advantage with nation B is to produce blocks. Now here when there is a free trade, no barriers, and we have also not assumed any transportation cost, let us find out when they open up and when they try to exchange goods with each other, how much is their production level and how much is their consumption level and how much is the total world production of coins and blocks. Now, as per the suggestion of Adam Smith, the leader of this nation diverted all its resources in the production of coins, so no blocks. On the other hand, the leader of this nation has decided to produce only blocks and no coins. Now let's see how much is the total world production, and now we need to open up this economy. The total units of coins which is being produced in this world consists of nation A and nation B are 12, the total units of blocks which has been produced in this world consist of nation A and nation B are 16. Now you can clearly see with 12 units of production of coins compared to 10 units of production of coins in a closed economy system and 16 units of production of blocks compared to 11 units of blocks in closed economy system, we have generated extra 2 units of coins and 5 units of blocks. You can see how exchange, or how the idea of that we will exchange goods and services has created surplus of 2 plus 5 blocks. Now this was not there when these economies were working under autarky. This was not there when these economies were closed and were producing both the goods. Now how they can have a higher consumption? Let us see. Now since these two nations need both the goods, they will be exchanging surplus with each other. There is extra generated that we have already seen. Now let's see how exchange happens and how each country will have a higher level of consumption. If you remember, nation A, it was consuming only 6 units of coins. It was producing and consuming 6 units of coins. Right. Now let's assume that this nation will want to consume 1 extra unit of coin. So there are 5 surplus coins generated. Now country B or nation B earlier, if you remember, was consuming 8 units of blocks. Now this country has produced 16 units of blocks and they decided to keep 3 units with them. So the surplus, which is 5 units, is ready to be exported to nation A. Now that means the price of each good is 1:1. 5 units of coin is being exchanged with 5 units of blocks. Now
5 units of blocks go to country A in exchange of 5 units of coins to country B.
How many blocks nation A was consuming earlier? Earlier nation A was consuming only 3 units of blocks, but now it is consuming 2 extra. How many coins nation B was consuming earlier? Earlier nation B was consuming only 4 units of coins. Now it is consuming 1 extra. So altogether nation A is consuming extra 2 units of blocks compared to closed economy and extra 1 unit of coin compared to closed economy. So you see higher level of consumption compared to the previous one. This is how value is being created in nation A. Here also earlier nation B was consuming only 8 units of coins, 8 units of blocks. Now 3 extra is being consumed by nation B. Also earlier it was consuming only 4 units of coins. Now 1 extra unit of coin is being consumed in nation B.
So you have seen, without doing anything extra, without adding any extra resources or improving the technology, how these nations with just simple exchange have created value of 5 more blocks and 2 more coins and then distributed among themselves. So nation A has 2 more blocks and 1 more coin compared to nation B, which has 3 more blocks and 1 more coin. Both are at win-win situation. This is the magic of exchange. This is how specialization brings efficiency and creates surplus in the system.
Concept. I hope you have liked the presentation and understood the concept of how exchange creates value. This concept you must have observed not only at the national level but at your household also, in your home also. When you see someone is doing kitchen work, the other person is doing marketing, the third person is doing something else, and definitely whatever they are doing at your home is based on whatever they can do. The only thing we have to see is that there should not be any conflict when exchange happens, because if exchange hampers, then value is not created. In order to know more about economic concepts, stay tuned with Living Economics. Till then, take care. Bye.